Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Kairos and welcome back once again to Let's Play Empire Total War. And just as I expected, this fleet of United Provinces warships has escaped the harbour that they were hiding in, the French harbour, and they have gone and tried to take this, the Liberty here. So we're going to skedaddle. So we're just starting from exactly where we left off last episode. And hopefully we'll be able to sail away. Escape. No, they're coming after us. So the Liberty looks like it's going to get sunk. That's most unfortunate. I was hoping we'd get that home. She served us well earlier. We're going to auto-resolve that.
The fleet is lost!
And
Disaster.
down she goes. That's not a great start to the episode. I suppose that was my own stupid fault for leaving that fleet unattended, and yeah. I was trying to get that ship home so that we could use it for, we could repair it and add it to our main fleet, but there goes the Liberty. What a shame. I was fond of that ship. Now, this is interesting. I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks like... Okay. So it looks like you can actually go to peace with these nations. This may be an oversight on the part of the mod, because I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be able to declare peace, but maybe they can approach you. Well, obviously they can approach you. Look, you can see we're enemies with everybody, and we have our diplomacy menu is all grayed out, so we can't use it, but it looks like we can still be approached by Sweden. We draw attention to the fact that this war is bringing neither success nor profit to either of our nations. Let us have peace. Sorry, that's my bloody phone. I need to put that on silent. So this is interesting because they're demanding money, tribute, in exchange for peace. Well, I'm quite happy to give them peace, but not under those terms. Let's make a counter proposal and see if we can just convince them to have a peace treaty on its own. I will agree not to attack your ships in exchange for you staying out of our business. We're interested in Spanish ships, but let's see if we can have a non-aggression pact between these two. So let's propose that. Okay, so he's rejected the offer. So we are still at war with the world, as it were. And here we go again. What have we got here? The British, they want a peace treaty. Okay, well. We're being offered a pardon. Right? They're obviously getting worried. We're not interested in your pardons, particularly if you want us to pay you. No, go away. Okay, now that the nations of the world have finally decided to stop bugging us and trying to steal our hard-earned loot, we can get on with this little campaign. That was interesting. I'm not sure if the mod is supposed to do that, but I suppose it makes sense really, because a pirate can petition for a pardon, but generally speaking that's a dangerous thing to do. But very often nations did in fact offer privateering commissions and pardons to many of the pirates, because of course it's much easier just to convince them to, oh, that's a very juicy target there. It's much easier to convince them to just stop their ways by giving them free pardons and letting them keep some of their booty and offering them commissions in the Royal Navy. Most of them had become pirates for various reasons that didn't involve necessarily the glamour of the lifestyle. Some of them did become buccaneers just because they wanted to, they enjoyed the life, they wanted the loot, they wanted the drink, they wanted the opportunity to make their own lives. Many of them were Jacobite sympathizers. What is this? Refuge for smugglers. So a lot of them were Jacobites, and so they weren't happy with the establishment, and they ran off to the Caribbean to essentially escape persecution. And if you want to read Captain Blood, just having a quick look at this is actually worth having. I think we'll purchase this. If you want to read Captain Blood, which is a fictional account, but pretty good. I actually think it's a really good book, one of my favorite books, and that deals very well with the whole nature of the pirate as being somebody who is really just a politically problematic person who is just trying to make their way in life. So
Yes, my lord.
yeah, it's all very interesting stuff, but I think we'd be very foolish not to take this out. We may send some ships after this. What have we got here? A brig and two Indiamen will only need a couple of ships to deal with that. But, yeah, so last episode we did take Martinique, and we don't really need all of these
Where to, Captain?
men in this one spot. So what we'll do is
Under sail.
we'll send some of these men. I think probably half of them. We'll send half of them to back to Antigua to defend our
Do that, General.
capital. It doesn't look like we can actually
You ask too much.
load up yet.
Waiting further on our way, Captain.
There we go.
Waiting for orders.
I wasn't within range. That's fine. We might have to wait till next turn to disembark them, unless we
Set
use the
sail.
port.
Jump to it and look lively.
That's the way to do it. Use the port.
Ship's orders, Captain.
And now we should be able to disembark them. I'll worry about that later. Embark, disembark. No, I can do that now, actually. Okay, now we should have men in the dock, and they can move up.
Forwards for crown
There we go.
and country.
So they should be. Also, they're not. We're not paying taxes on these guys, I think, because they're in. I think because they're in their fort. I'll have to look into that later, actually. But these cities can actually support a certain number of garrison men. But what we're going to do now is we're going to get our navy. There it is. What ships will we need? We could take a brig, a galleon. We'll get the Royal Fortune should be repaired by now. Yep. So we'll get the Royal Fortune out and maybe a couple of. We'll take the Aranya and the Burgundy Fox. I think. Take these two, and we will attack this particular Spaniard. Before we do that, however,
Haul away.
we'll actually get this
Still
fleet out
shipshape.
to do some raiding.
Prepare for battle. Aye, sir. Ship's orders.
And let's attack these
I
guys
shall sleep with the fishes.
and do some honest pirating. Alright, and we are approaching the enemy in line formation this time. We're going to load chain on all ships because we're going to want to capture these, not sink them. We want to stay fairly close. We want to get in nice and close. These are going to be easy to take out. Cross their T and then come round. Well, the plan is to cross their T and then come round, continue giving broadsides, and then cross around behind them as well, just shooting their mast the whole time. We do want to cut a little bit over here so we don't get a full broadside before we need to. You can see they are struggling in the wind here, so this should be an absolute walk in the park for us. We'll cut around here. It's going to be a walk in the park. They're opening fire with the muskets. Come round. Down goes the mizzen mast. Oh, bloody hell. That could be a problem. That's going to break up our line. Hopefully they'll be able to catch up. Back around. This is working out really well. And I think I'm getting the hang of the controls for this as well. I'm gonna have to stop here. Oh, we're gonna get a broadside. Unfortunately, the Royal Fortune is got itself into a bit of a sticky situation. That can't be good for the ship. But still, we're doing very well. We'll come round, bring her about, come round and see if we can give him another broadside or two. Excellent work. Good volleys. It's this guy's turn now. It's the Aranya. Let's try and cut across their stern here. We have the wind. We've got the weather gauge of them now, so that's fantastic. And this is why line of battle was a thing for so many hundreds of years. I think they're going to surrender pretty soon. Let's come around again. Hopefully this one won't get away. Not the best position to be in. I might have this one leave the group and we'll spin her around into the wind. We'll tack into the wind and we'll fire a ball at them from a distance here. Try and get them to surrender. The rest of this group, we can continue on that course. They're wavering. They haven't surrendered yet. Let's actually go that way. Nice. Down goes the foremast. Let's cut straight through here with the Royal Fortune. Cut them off. It's time for us to convince her to surrender. Gonna use ball. Time to surrender, my friend. Not long now and we'll have them. Alright, very successful indeed. They've all surrendered. We managed to get all 3 ships, and they are in good condition. As much as I am tempted to sort of take them all, I think we will just keep the prize money. We'll loot the ships and send the crews off on boats and get out of here. Now, in real life, what they would often do, and this is probably what we're going to imagine we're doing here, pirates would usually not take the ship. Sometimes they would if they liked it, but generally speaking, what they would do is they would actually raid the ship, loot it of any supplies that were needed, including things like tools and carpentry tools, medical equipment, medical supplies, and even skilled hands would be forced to join. And then they would just let the ship go and send the crew off to sail home. Most pirates were not actually that bloodthirsty, believe it or not. They were probably in many ways much more civilized, a lot of the time anyway, a lot more civilized than we would be today in a situation like this where you're being robbed. There's a certain degree of honor among these thieves, so I think we'll let the crews go and take the money. Let's let them go. Although, of course, the game animates it as these ships being sunk. But, yeah. All good. That was very successful indeed. So I think we can send our vessels back to port now and get them repaired. I'm thinking we might continue just for another turn and see what happens.
Further orders.
What will be the plan in the near future? Actually, we will end it here, I think. We're going to just keep these episodes fairly short. The plan will be to, next turn, I think, will be to start to reconnoiter around here. We might actually send a scout. Oh, that's right. I didn't, this is something we need to do. I didn't actually get the fleet off in this direction. So we're gonna send the brig Adventure on a little scouting mission here. We're gonna off down there, and we didn't actually send the rest of the navy to raid. So we'll get these. We've got to repair these. Repair that, and these are the ones that are being repaired. So we'll get anything that's not being repaired to join this fleet here.
Any orders?
And they hopefully
Yes, Your Majesty.
happily raiding away.
Ship's orders.
And we
Where to?
need to be thinking about where we want to attack next. I'm thinking a raid on Santo Domingo might be in order, or alternatively, we could head down to head down to Panama. Sorry, Curacao. That's Curacao. Panama's over here. So yeah, we could head to Curacao. We could head to Santo Domingo, or yeah, it's going to be one of these two, whichever I feel is the more wealthy target. And the aim will be to really raid these places, unless they surrender, in which case I guess we'll just occupy them. We really want to raid these places. This is going to be a next episode is going to be the beginnings of our preparations to make a proper piratical raid on either Curacao or Santo Domingo. We'll have a think about what we're going to do next episode. This has been Kairos. I hope you are enjoying the series thus far, and I will see you all in the next episode.